Okay, guys, I think we're almost ready to get started. We'll just give a couple more seconds, let everyone. I can see people are coming in. So, well, we're just about on time. So if you're late, I guess you're going to miss the first couple of seconds. Welcome everybody. I'm Dan Lehman. For anyone that doesn't know me, and I'm really excited today. I've got another really special guest. His name is Chris Guthrie, and what Chris does is that he makes his living selling stuff on Amazon. Chris has got a really interesting background. He's been doing this for about 6 years now, and he started out selling stuff on Amazon as an affiliate, and in a fairly short amount of time, he was able to quit his job and do that full time. Chris has tried a whole bunch of different methods on Amazon, all with some level of success. Like I said, he's been an affiliate. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. He has sold Kindle books, I believe, and now he's doing a different method that I know he's being extremely successful with. He's selling over $30,000 per month of stuff on Amazon, and it's really, really simple, really, really interesting, and I know you're going to get a lot out of this. You don't need any experience. He's going to take you through it step by step. And I just know you're really, really going to enjoy it. So I won't hold you up anymore. Let's get Chris on. Chris, welcome.
Hey, Dan, thanks so much for the invite. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You want to get started and let's get stuck straight into it, shall we?
Yeah, I'd love to. I can share some more about my background as we go on. So let's get going. You want me to start my screen? And you can see all right?
Not yet. No, you're just frozen at the moment. Here it comes. Yep. Now I think it's just popped up. So I'm going to mute my microphone in case the dog goes ahead and barks or anything. So I'll let you get stuck in, but if you've got any questions, fire away and I'll unmute.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. All right. So we're going to be covering how to build a 6-figure plus Amazon business working part-time, which is precisely what I've done. So I'm really excited to share that with you today. So I want to briefly cover some of my history just so you know where I'm coming back from. I'm a full-time internet entrepreneur, and I've been doing this ever since I was fired from my last job that I ever had back in October 2009. And this is a tip for you if you're out there right now and you're looking at making some money on the side. Do not tell your coworkers that you have a side business or that you're trying to grow one, because that's what I did, and it ultimately led to myself getting fired. Fortunately, though, my Amazon affiliate earnings had surpassed my day job by that time. So it was way back October 2009. And now, additionally, I'm selling physical products on Amazon. So collectively, I've been making money from Amazon for over half a decade, whether it's Amazon's affiliate program, that's what I started with, Amazon Kindle books, and now selling physical products on Amazon. So I'm somewhat of an Amazon expert because I've been doing this for years and years and years. Now, what you're going to be learning today is what a private label product is and why it's the best thing I've found in over half a decade. And I'm a pretty no-hype type of guy. You're going to see exactly this process step by step, and I'm going to show you everything about it. Next, we'll be covering how to uncover private label products to sell that have low competition and why this is important. This is a really crucial step, and this is one of the most common mistakes that beginners make. So this is an important part to stay tuned for as we get into it. After that, we'll be covering how to find a supplier to provide you products and then how to stand out from the competition. This is also very, very important. So all three of these elements are very important. And then beyond that, once you picked your product and you found a supplier, launching your products is very important. So we want to make sure you launch your product for max sales. You don't want to just list it. There is a difference, and we'll cover that. And then we're also going to be covering how to get critically important early reviews. So when you first pick your product, you find your supplier, you launch it, you've got to get reviews. And there's a very little known source on Amazon that we found that can help you get those reviews. It's very important. And then lastly, we're going to show you how to replicate this system to a massive business, which is exactly what I'm in the process of doing right now. So before we go any further, I do want to share these 3 rules. And if you haven't heard these 3 rules before, there are 3 rules that I believe you should adopt as well. And basically, every business that I start must fit these 3 rules. The rule number 1, freedom to work wherever I want to. I think we can all agree that being able to have the freedom to work where we want to and just freedom in life in general is ultimately the goal, right? Because if you can work wherever you want, then you can be working anywhere in the world, and you can take advantage of living in a place where it's cheaper, for example, which works really well. Rule number 2, freedom to work whenever I want to. Sometimes my most productive evenings are just 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and then I just don't work during the day. And so being able to have the freedom to do that is great for night owls like myself. Maybe some of you are as well. And then rule number 3, and this is the most important one, is the ability to scale. So being able to take what you're working on, systemize it, and then build it up into a much larger business. That's very, very important and crucial, really, to being able to build an internet business that is full for you and being able to provide you a lot of freedom. So I mentioned before, talking about building an Amazon business, selling physical products using that platform. Well, you might be wondering, why Amazon? Well, this should be the obvious information here, but I want to make sure you know. They've been growing for years and years here, billions upon billions of dollars, and you want to be going to where the buyers are, ultimately. Amazon has a lot of people on and constantly shopping, and when you're building an Amazon business, you can leverage their platform versus trying to build an e-commerce store, rank in Google, all those other things you have to do if you go in that route. Whereas when you use Amazon, you can leverage that immediately. Now, over 40% of Amazon's total unit sales actually come from third-party sellers. So these are people just like me, and collectively, we represent tens of billions of dollars. Now, additionally, there are also people that are doing it the hard way. So we're going to talk about that too. So how can you get started? That might be something you're curious about. Well, there's several ways to sell on Amazon, but the first way is to buy and resell physical products from existing brands. Now, this is what I also call the special business hell method. And I'm going to explain exactly why that is in a moment here. Here's an example. This is a product, Libmid Long Handle Barbecue Brush, $7.99 plus $5.14 shipping and handling. The product isn't that important here, but I'm using this as an example to show you what this is. Here on the right-hand side of your screen, this is a buy box. And this company, Zip Zab, is selling this product for $7.99 with $5.14 shipping and handling. And anytime someone buys on Amazon, the money is going to go to them. The only problem is that there are other sellers to compete with. So when you buy and sell other existing brand products, you don't control your pricing, because the people that win the buy box, those that actually get the sales and make the money, are typically the people with the lowest price. And that's great for consumers, but if you're the business owner trying to make great margins on the products you sell, it's not going to be great for you. So what about well-known brands, right? You might be saying, no one's ever heard of Libmid Co. Well, the same thing is the case with other larger brands. You know, if you look at these Bose Quiet Comfort 15 headphones, you've got 53 different types of people, sellers rather, that will you be competing against. So if you could find a deal on these, you're still going to have to compete against a ton of people. And typically with more well-known brands, you're going to have even more sellers to compete with than these off brands that you might not have heard of before. So the reason why I call this a special business hell method and why I suggest not doing it is because you have to typically ship it yourself, because you have lower margins and you don't have as much money to make. Additionally, you don't control the pricing, because as we've shown you before with that buy box scenario, if you have the lowest price, you're going to get there. But if you wanted to raise your price to try and make more money each unit you sell, then you still have all the other sellers to compete with. You also don't control the product quality. If you remember that example, it was that actually had 4 stars. And so if you bought a bunch of inventory and you wanted to sell that, well, having those 4 stars reviews is going to make it more difficult for you to sell. And I'm going to be showing you why product quality is very important here in a moment. But if you think about your own experience as an Amazon shopper, people are much more likely to buy higher quality products on Amazon than they are lower quality ones. And then additionally, this sounds crazy, but some buy and resell methods actually require you to go out to stores physically and use coupons and other types of strategies to buy products at a discount, and then take those products back to your house, set up UPS to come pick them up. You got to package the products together. UPS will take them to Amazon, and then you sell them that way, right? That is not a business. That's a chore ultimately, and it's not really something that you can scale. So it breaks that third rule, the ability to scale a business. So the solution is actually to create your own brand of product. Now, if you need ideas to find a product, we're going to get to that. And one tip actually is to read the positive and negative reviews of the products that you'd like to sell. So this Libmid Long Handle Barbecue Brush, for example, let's go with this one. So researching your product is pretty simple. You know, I've had personally bad luck with these types of plastic style brushers, and so have other customers here. You see this one saying might work better if bristles were longer. Downside is it does not last that long. Another one saying I'm a little disappointed the bristles aren't longer and stiffer. So these are common complaints that you can identify by reading customer reviews. So you're going to find a common thread, whether it's something positive or in this case, negative. Now, one customer was showing this manufactured with low-grade plastics on literally the very first use. It immediately and completely melted, and then a few months later, or a few weeks later, they said sometimes it's worth it to spend a little more. You don't want that plastic and those metal brush shards in your grill and potentially in your food. So spend a little more, right? So this is one customer experience. And so really with 5 minutes of research on one product, I've learned that if I want to do a barbecue grill brush, I should avoid plastic, right? The brush should have long bristles and it should be high quality, it lasts long, and doesn't fall apart. Now, is this hard to figure out? No, of course not, right? It's very simple because you can identify these things simply by looking at publicly available information on Amazon. You look at a review and you can determine why it's popular and why it's selling. And then additionally, if something has lower reviews and yet it's still selling well, that's even better because you can fix the problems that they have and sell that product yourself. Now we're going to get to that process. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So what's the next step, right? You've identified your product. Let's say it's a barbecue grill brush. Where can I find a supplier? Well, what I've always learned is that unless it goes in your body, so some type of a supplement or something, or on your skin, like a skin cream, then you're going to want to go to China. And that usually means Alibaba.com. There are other sources as well, but I found all of my suppliers through Alibaba. And so if we go over there to Alibaba and we search barbecue grill brush, there's 9,456 products. So there's plenty to choose from.
Sorry, Chris, can I just interrupt for half a second? We've got a bunch of questions that are coming in. So guys, I'll just get you to put your questions off to the end. We'll go through everything, and you might find that Chris has covered your questions anyway. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to get into all these questions. I keep looking over there because I've got a 2 monitor set up, and that's where I'm seeing the questions. So just be aware that we're going to get to the questions at the end.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, so 9,456 products here, though. Something you can do to actually try and ensure you've got better suppliers is check these boxes: gold supplier, on-site check, and assess supplier. So these are basically quality guidelines that can help you get better suppliers. I didn't do that for this example here, but that's something you can do as well when you're on Alibaba. Now, this is one I found on page 1. Now, I've drawn your attention with some of these drawings here, but this barbecue grill brush here on the left-hand side of your screen, pay attention to this because I'm going to be showing you a little bit later. And when you see it again, you're going to fully understand this whole picture. All the pieces are going to come together and you're going to see exactly why this business model is awesome, okay? So pay attention to this image. Now, let's get back to the price here though, right? 50 cents to $1.50 per piece. This is based on the number of units that you purchase. They have a minimum order quantity of 1,000. But if you're saying, hey, I don't have a huge budget, I don't know if I could really spend that much, that's fine because there's ways around that. Because further down the page, they say trial order. Quantity less than MOQ, which is short for minimum order quantity, is acceptable. So you can pay for less units when you're first starting out, which is great if you're a new business owner or you'd like to get started and you don't have a lot of money to spend, you can do that. And then additionally, it shows you the delivery time, so it can show you how long. Some products are going to be less than others. I've seen products as low as a week for them to deliver. And that just means the actual production time rather. And then the sample they can send that out in less than a week. And then you just contact the supplier. This is exactly what I do when I send an email. You could copy it verbatim. Just, I'd like to get a sample of your grill brush and I'm looking at making a 250 unit trial order. Can you please provide me pricing for the following quantities as we expect to ramp up our orders quickly? 500, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 10,000. And then I mentioned a few things like I'd like my brush to be higher quality and just some of the things that I found in those reviews. And to say, thanks in advance, Chris Guthrie, brand manager. And you never want to say you're the CEO or that you're new or anything like that. That's a tip you want to keep in mind because you want to make it look like you're a larger business when you first contact these suppliers. So I actually contacted the supplier. I got a response back from, his name's Fred. He said, "Dear Mr. Chris, thanks for your inquiry. Enclosed, please find the quotation." And so this actually was only, it was less than 10 hours that I heard back from him. It was very simple to do this because here it is, here's the pricing, and this is what the quote was. So they had a 12-inch wire brush, a 16-inch, and then also an 18-inch. Now I've blown up the pricing here so you can see it better, but $1.44 USD for a PP handle, which is like a plastic polymer, or $1.48 for stainless steel. And then they mention again the minimum order quantity of 1,000. But we can get less than that. We'll get to that. Again, I'm going to pay attention to this image here. I'm going to show it one more time in the future, and you're going to love it. All right, now what about starting with only 250 units? That was what I was looking for, right? A trial order. Fred said, okay, we can do that, $1.65. And then he also explained what PP was short for, propene polymer or something. I didn't know what it was. But if you look at this though, $1.65 each for a 250 unit trial order, that's $412.50. You could actually even do less than this if you wanted to start with a lower number of units. And so it's really inexpensive to actually get started with this business. Now, additionally, you also know ahead of time that you're going to make more money as you get more units because you've got a price drop once you get there. So as you start to scale your business and sell more units, you're going to get better and better pricing. So you're going to make more money on every single sale. Now let's calculate the costs though, right? So Alibaba, $1.65 per unit. They advertise 50 cents to $1.50. You can assume that when you're first buying these products, you're going to go for the higher price point because you're going to be going with a lower quantity. So just assume that when you're looking at these suppliers. Now, it's a little bit higher because we started a trial order size, so that's fine. But I also picked the 18-inch version, which was the most expensive. You know, if you wanted to spend even less money, you could actually go for another one. But once you decide, okay, let's go with the 18-inch, you want to get a sample of both, and then you're actually trying it out. So go out there, test out your barbecue, whether it's nice time of the year for you, whether it's the winter, doesn't matter. Try out this thing so you can see if it's going to work for you. And then ask yourself questions like, do I need to increase the length of the bristles? Do I need to ask for a better handle when I scrape the food off my grill? Does the handle bend? These are the types of things that your customers are going to be thinking about and or complaining about if the product isn't good or praising if the product's great, right? So these are the questions you want to have. Try it out as an actual consumer would, because once you pick it, you want to make sure it's doing well. And the reason, of course, is because Amazon buyers like high quality, so you want to have that. Now, even if you look at your own personal experiences, right? Do you buy products with 4.5 stars or 3.5 stars, right? Everyone's always buying 4.5+ star products over those 3.5 stars. So you want to factor that in to your decision. Let's get to the important part right now. How much money would this make? So $15.97 sale price is about the median price on Amazon. I'm going to show you some examples of that in a moment. But the costs are going to be about $8.97. That's the unit cost, shipping from China, and then fees from FBA. So Amazon charges a fee for selling products on their service, but it's great because they handle all of the hassle, right? So the hassles of actually shipping the units, everything else. I've never been to the post office for this business. No one's ever showed up and said, hey, we're ready to pick up your shipment or anything like that. I don't have to do that. I can run it from anywhere. And so Amazon charges a fee for that. But it's a fee I gladly pay because they handle all the orders, and when people have problems, they contact Amazon instead of me. So this is actually kind of a high estimate, but I just want to show you what it is there. Now, if we wanted to save money, I mentioned this before, but you could go with a 16-inch version to save on unit cost. But taking those two apart, that's going to be about a profit of $7 per unit. And then most importantly, your profits are going to go up the more you sell because you're going to get lower and lower costs. So 250 units, $1.65, 1,000 units, $1.44. So let's run some quick calculations. How many sales would it take to get to a 6-figure per year business, 100K plus? 10 sales per day, about $70 in profit, 25,000.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you just go back to that previous slide for a moment? Now, I don't know how good your Google Hangout skills are, but what I'd like to do, I know it's possible, I don't know how to do it, is I want to go to that previous slide and show the slide while I'm talking. Do you know how to do that?
Let me see here if I can show you.
That's all right. It doesn't matter even if you don't. But I just wanted to point out, so I've actually, I've looked into this business model before, and I'm in the process of doing it myself because I think it's a fantastic business model, which is why I wanted to get you on to tell everyone about it. And, you know, I've heard people talk about this before where they say, hey, there's $8 of costs with all the Amazon stuff. You know, the item itself is only $1.50, but it turns out to be $8 cost. You sell it $15, so it seems like you've got a 100% ROI, right? Roughly. So $7.50 cost, sell for $15. It seems like a $7.50 ROI, but it's actually significantly better than that. And I just want to make sure everyone realizes, because most of those costs are Amazon costs, right? So what happens? You outlay your $1.50 for a unit, and then you still have to get that unit. So I just want to make sure everyone understands this. That unit that you've bought in China, or that you buy, 250 units, that doesn't get shipped to you. You don't have to stack your garages full of stuff. That gets shipped to Amazon. So it goes straight from China to Amazon. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. You can do it from Australia. You can do it from Romania, America, or England. Doesn't matter. So it goes straight from China to Amazon. Amazon store that for you, and they ship it out and do everything for you. Like, you just list it on Amazon. Someone buys it. They take care of it all. You don't have to worry about it. It's all automated. But here's the point. You paid $1.50 for it. I don't know what the shipping is. Chris will know a lot better than me. But let's just say, for example, it's another 50 cents per unit in shipping. So you've paid $2 for it. The rest of the cost, those other $5, $6 of cost, you don't pay until you've made the sale. So you make the sale and then you get the money back. So let's talk about 100 units for easy mathematics. If you were going to do 100 units, you pay $1.50 for each unit and 50 cents for shipping. Means you've outlaid $200. But if you sell those 100 units at a $7 profit each unit, then you've made $700 in profit from a $200 outlay. So the ROI, the return on investment, is much better than 100%. So even though your profit margin is 100%, your return on investment is a lot better than 100% because you don't have to pay the Amazon fees until after you collect the money. Is that right? Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that's a good way to, I think in the process of almost trying to simplify it, I leave out the fact that, yeah, you don't pay those fees until it actually sells. And when you do that, you're making profit, but before that, you're not spending that much money. So that's an important distinction to make for sure.
Sorry, continue now.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So how many sales, I mentioned this here, this example, 20 sales per day though would put you at $140 in profit per day. And that'd be $51,000 in profit. Now, this number is interesting because it's actually right around the census mark for the U.S. household income. So median U.S. household income, $51,939. It's roughly the same every year. It doesn't matter. And the government's always slow on these. But it's crazy to think with a single product and 20 sales per day, where there are millions upon millions of Amazon Prime members shopping every single day, that they could get to this, right? 40 sales per day would put you at $102,000 in profit. And so going along these levels, this is exactly what I hit. And so each time I thought, wow, this side business is now making more than what most people make in their household income, which is crazy. And also makes me feel very fortunate to have stumbled upon this business model and started to get after it. So with just one product, you could be doing 6 figures. And then the important part too is that your costs are going to actually be dropping as well. As you sell more units, then you're going to be making more and more money on every single unit because you're doing better and better. I started with 500 units, and then I went to 1,000, then 2,000, then 5,000. Then I did another order for new products, 6,500 of those units. And I was just using that all for my initial funding of just 500 units. I was originally just going to do 250, but I decided to double my initial trial order. So you can get started though with very little money, reinvest profits, and also be taking cash out along the way. So, are these numbers really possible? Here's my March stats, but again, this is kind of going up over time. $36,561 from 2,455 units. I do have more than one product, but at a $15.50 average, I'm getting a 40% margin. And that's roughly $15,000 per month. And if I annualize that, that's close to $200,000 a year profit, which is crazy because this is for a business that I don't have to deal with customers, right? I don't have to deal with shipping items. I have a company that picks them up in China, they take it to the US, and then Amazon ships them out from there. I don't even have to see it. It never comes to my house, and it's great. What about when I had only one product, right? That might be your question. Well, back when I had only one product, $26,000 in sales. So I still was making on track for 6 figures with just a single product. Now, your sales are going to depend on your niche, competition, and size, of course. Now, when did I start selling? My first sale was July 28th, and here's the growth. So pretty much just slowly growing, adding more products as we went along, and then reinvesting some money into the business and maybe taking some out as well. Are you guaranteed the same? Of course not, but you want to make sure you have the right product, right? Because if you pick the wrong product, then this won't work for you. So picking the right product is incredibly important. And I'm going to talk about how you can find that. continue with that example, right? You might be saying, Chris, grill brushes don't sell for that much, right? Well, look at these examples here. Here's this one, Tuft built 1897, 2,141 bestseller rank. This is the number you want to look at when you're looking at Amazon. This bestseller rank, 2,141, will roughly equate to several thousand per month in sales. Next one, $14.99, another 2,000 bestseller rank. Here's another one, $14.97, 2,575 bestseller rank. There's another one, $15.97 at 755 bestseller rank. And now, this is the best example of all. I mentioned before to look at the image I showed you. I showed you that barbecue grill brush. Well, here it is again. And what do you think looks similar to these right here, right? Don't these look pretty much the exact same? The handle's slightly different. They put their logo on there, which your supplier could do very simply. But even the design down to the spiraling wire is basically the exact same. So this product here selling for $17.97 is just like this one that you could buy for $1.50. It's awesome. And at 329 bestseller rank, that's even more sales than those other examples I showed you. And remember, that's just one product. You know, if you go back to those original 3 rules I talked about, freedom to work wherever you want to, freedom to work whenever you want to, and then the ability to scale. Rule 3, how will you scale this business? Product 2, basting brush. Very simple for a supplier to produce this. $9.95, 1,030 bestseller rank. Your product 3 could be silicone grill gloves. This is $27.27, and this is even better, bestseller rank at $56. Your product number 4 could be a barbecue grill mat. And I looked into these as well. They're actually much less expensive than the barbecue grill brush even. I found a supplier that had a minimum ordered quantity of basically $50. It was 100 square feet of barbecue grill mats for $50, and that's where you could go. So $25.97 for that with bestseller rank of $9.24. Product 5 could be a barbecue meat injector. So you can see how along the way, you're basically just picking related products to the one that you first start with. And then you could also expand down into kitchen products or anything else that's related like that. And so after you launch your first product, do you think it would be harder or easier to launch a second product? Right? I see some comments coming in. It's easier, of course, to launch it because you've learned these steps. And when you learn these steps, one of the things I do is I actually take notes of each step. And then I can take those notes and hand them off to someone else when I want to remove myself from that part of the business. That's when you know you're building a business that you can scale and that you can also replace yourself from and let it run without your involvement. So how do you actually find your product, right? How can you find a product that fits this criteria? I showed before my sales, but ultimately, if I didn't pick the right product, I wouldn't even have those sales. So that's the most important part of this piece, right? There's a manual method, and this actually requires hours upon hours of research, and usually begins with going to amazon.com/bestsellers. And then you look through these primary categories where you have the arts and crafts and sewing, automotive, baby, beauty, camera and photo, etc. And you've got to look at these products and these categories and then scale down to each one. So we've got any department, patio, lawn and garden, grills and outdoor cooking tools and accessories, cleaning tools and maintenance, and then down to grill brushes. So I had to dive down into all these different deeper categories just to find this specific product. So it's a huge, huge time suck to actually find these products. So how would you actually find a product an easy way? Well, Amazon 4 is where you can do, and specifically, there are 2 programs that can help out with that, the Product Inspector and the Top 100 Analyzer. So let me actually just show you briefly how those work. Now, the Top 100 Analyzer is the program where basically, say you have no idea what it is you'd like to sell. You're listening to me talk about these products that you can sell, and you're thinking, that's great, but I'm still not even sure. Yeah, the barbecue niche might be great, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to sell in that niche. That's fine. You just go into any category like this, and we'll dive down into a few of them. And very simply, you can actually add all these categories to this program. And so I'll add one more category here just to show you this as an example. And what this will do is once I run this tool, it's going out to Amazon and pulling in every single detail about this product, because normally when you're going to Amazon and if you're doing some research, you've got to go to every single listing just to see if the product is selling, first of all. Then you've got to look at the reviews to see if it's selling well but doesn't have that many reviews. You've got to look at the average rating. You've got to look to see what the weight is so you can see if it's something that you could ship easily as well. Whereas with the software, you simply pick these different subcategories, and you pull in all this information automatically. So very quickly, you can have hundreds of products to choose from, and you can sort them by the number of reviews, the average rating, and then also too, if their number of offers. So if someone else is selling the product, like I showed before, the special business hell, you don't want to sell those. And so you can very quickly filter these all out versus going out to Amazon, manually typing things in and going from there. So it's a huge time saver. And then additionally, so let's say you've decided barbecue grill brush is what you want to do. You put this into the product inspector, you select the category, and then you hit go. And it's going to pull in every single product that has a barbecue grill brush listed somewhere in the title. So you can find every single product selling that's within this space. And again, just like before, once you've got this information, I'll pause it for now. You can see there's a lot of products that's pulling in. I can click the Get More Data button again, and it's going to pull in all the information that's really important. The bestseller rank, who ships it, what the weight is, the total number of offers, what the price is, the average rating, the reviews. All this stuff is really important when you're doing your research and trying to decide what to sell. All right, so let me get back to the presentation here. All right, so another question I might be having is, what keywords should we use? Because keywords are actually how people are finding your product on Amazon. So you want to determine what you should use in your product titles, because that's going to help you to show up in your rankings. What you want to use in the bullet points, the product description, and then also if you want to put them in sponsored ad campaigns. And so a great starting point would be to use the keywords that people are actually searching for on Amazon, right? Because if people are searching for them on Amazon, then they're important to use in your business. So these are search suggest keywords. So if you've ever been to Google or you've been to Amazon and you've started to type something in, you've seen this before, right? So barbecue G will start to pull up different types of keywords, and barbecue grill B starts to pull up keywords like barbecue grill brush heavy duty, barbecue grill brush and scraper, barbecue grill brush 18 based on the length of the barbecue brush. And so here's actually how you can get these keywords. It's a third tool, so Azon Keyword Generator. Finding these keywords is really important because Amazon.
Chris, you've gone silent there. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying is those keywords where they're pulled up automatically by Amazon Search Suggest are really important because Amazon's saying, hey, these are important enough that we're displaying them in the suggested keywords that people type in when they're going to Amazon. And so using those in your product title, your description, your bullet points, everything that you can use to market your product is really important. And you could find these if you manually go to Amazon and type in every single thing you can do. But instead, you run the software, which I just did while I was speaking there. You can see the scroll bar. Here's all these different related keywords that are really important for barbecue niche that you could include. I'm still scrolling here. And I only put in 3 seed keywords. If you wanted to add in more, you could find even more examples. So these keywords are really easy to find, and then you can use them in your marketing. So how do you actually get sales on Amazon, right? Well, you want to start with your product listing. That's going to give you your biggest win. So your product title, your images, your bullet points, and your product description. So in your product title, you want to make sure you use the right keywords. With the images, you want to make sure you have all of the images filled up. Amazon allows you to have several images, and so you want to make sure you use all those options. There are a lot of products that sell on Amazon that are doing well that only have a single image. So when you're out there doing your research using AmaSuite, you'll find, hey, there's a product that I could sell, and they're not doing a very good job of selling it because their product title isn't very good. They don't have very many images, and then additionally, their bullet points don't help sell the product. And then finally, you have your product description, which is where you can, again, convince people why they should be buying your product. You can also do other stuff using off Amazon strategies like Facebook, social media, email list building, paid ads. But rather than complicating this situation, frankly, I still haven't even used these at all. I'm just relying on the traffic that Amazon sends, which is precisely why at the beginning of this presentation, I told you to focus on building an Amazon business, because you can leverage all of the platform, the traffic that they've built to their platform on that established marketplace. So would you like to know what really drives sales? It's reviews, right? So product title, your listing, your description, your bullet points, all that's important, but reviews are really what help drive the sales. We can take a quick poll. But this is a pretty obvious one. What were you going to buy, right? Product A with 402 customer reviews, or product B? Product B does have an average of 5 stars, but it's only got 6 reviews. But here you can see the bestseller rank, which is what determines how many products are being sold and gives you an idea of how much are being sold. 397 for product A and 101,000 for product B. So basically no sales of product B. But what's even better than a lot of reviews is actually higher quality reviews. And the reason why is because these products will show up in your listing. So let's take another quick poll. Which one makes you want to buy here? This review A from Donna Shelton saying great quality, and that's it. Or this review here from Jay Chambers, who's a Hall of Fame top 10 reviewer. He's done actually a video review of this cabbage slicer and multiple paragraphs of text. If you're an Amazon shopper and you come across a listing and you see this review, it's a 5-star review, this is guaranteed to make you more likely to purchase a product than this one over here from Donna. So finding these people to review your product is very, very important. Are reviews important? Of course, right? And here's how you get them. This is the 4th software tool that's included with AmaSuite. So let me actually show you quickly this live demo as well. So this software allows you to pull in top reviewers on Amazon. So this is that little known source that I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, where you can find people on Amazon. So every single reviewer is listed on this site on the top reviewers section. You could check it out through Google if you'd like to, but what you have to do if you wanted to contact them is look through every single profile manually, which is of course super time consuming when you should be focusing on working on your business, right? So you simply run the software, start pulling in these people, and then you can also pull in their email addresses. And so pulling in every single email they have here is really, really helpful, because these top reviewers are the types of people that can help you make a lot of money, because these reviews that show up help sell your product, right? You've seen it before. You look at a product listing and there are the most helpful reviews. And these most helpful reviews often come from these very people here. So actually, I'll stop this because I could let this run for longer. But let's say you have a product in the photography niche. I just have to type in photo. And what this is doing is we actually can pull in the interests that these people have as well, because they fill out their profiles. And you can say, hey, this person is interested in photography. I have a photography product. These are the people I should be contacting to review my product, right? Super, super simple. And the best part too about it is that we also show you what the last 10 products they reviewed, what their average score was. So you can see this guy here, Jay Chambers, did his last 10 reviews with an average score of 5. And he also does video reviews. So wink, wink, this is a guy that is most likely to give you a 5-star review and a video review of your product. So you simply contact him and you say, hey, Jay Chambers, or you can look at his profile to see if his name's, it looks like it's Jim here based on his email. Because, hey, Jim, I'm interested in, I have this photography product and I see you're interested in photography. Would you like to review it? I'll send one out to your house. And you can do that. You actually just fill out the form through Amazon to send it out, but you get a great response rate from people like this, because these people are writing all these reviews because they like to do it, right? So you just contact them, and then those reviews help catapult your product into help sell more products as well.
That's gold, Chris. This is the first time I've seen this, by the way, everybody. I haven't seen that before. And but like I mentioned before, I've been looking into and started building my Amazon business because I think it's just an amazing, highly scalable and very automated business. But I know that one of the challenges, so just so everyone's clear, here's the other reason that reviews are so important. Pretty much every product you can think of, you think, barbecue scrubbing brush, how many could they possibly sell a day? I'll guarantee Amazon sell thousands of these things a day. Like, it's just ridiculous. Amazon is so ridiculously large. They sell thousands of everything a day. But most of the sales go to the front page listings. And the higher you are, the more you'll get. Don't ask me why. I know you'd think people would chop around. It just doesn't work that way. Most of the sales go to the top listing. So aside from the fact that people are going to want to buy from you more if you have good reviews, having a lot of reviews also gets you to the top of the listing. But usually it's a case, it's kind of a which comes first, the chicken or the egg, because your challenge is, how do you get to the top if getting to the top means getting reviews, but you only get reviews if you sell stuff? And how do you sell stuff if you don't get to the top? So once you get to the top, it's a money machine. it's easy to make money. Amazon advertises for you. They send for you. They do everything. Everything's automated. Once you get to the top of the listing, it's a license to print money. The challenge is to get to the top of the listing. And to do that, you need reviews. I've never seen this software before. I'm just blown away. I can see how ridiculously valuable that is. Get a list of all the people that review stuff. Say, hey, if I send you something, do you mind giving me a review? Who's going to say no? Some people might say no, but you're going to get tons of people like, yeah, send me something free, cool. And you don't even have to ask them for a good review. So give me an honest review. Make sure you got a quality product. Next thing you know, you're at the top of the listings, and you've got a money machine. I love that. That is really, really powerful. That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Actually, this is the one of the newer software programs we included with AmaSuite. I mentioned before it's AmaSuite 4, so we've actually been constantly improving this program for the last several versions. But this review tool, I almost thought, because I'm an Amazon seller myself, I almost thought I have a business partner here that develops a software and said, can we just not sell this because I want to use it myself? But he said, you know what, we already created this software and we've got a lot of users and they love it, so let's do it. And so that's what we did. And we've had a lot of great feedback from people as well, though. And this is one of the best tools, of course, because getting those reviews is like a license to print money. Because I've seen it with my own products. When I get up to that top section, I basically just come home at night if I'm out for the day and I see, wow, okay, cool, I just sold a bunch of products. And it's all because I managed to get a bunch of reviews and done well with that product. And it's converting everything. So it's great. So AmaSuite 4, do you think it would be easier to start a business like this if you could pick your product quickly and easily using the top 100 analyzer and the product inspector? And then, research new markets, again, using those two software programs, come up with keywords to use for your title, your bullet points, sponsored ad campaigns, and everything else using the keyword generator. And then additionally, once you've got your product picked out and you're up and selling, find and contact people that want to review your product. And then those reviews, of course, help you sell more, right? It will, of course, be easier. Now, this software alone is easily worth offering a subscription-only service. We thought about doing it at a $47 a month fee, and we would just continue selling it for a long period of time. But because you're here, we've made it available at a one-time price of only $297, and that includes free updates. Now, you might not have seen it on your screen when I was going through the software, but we've got dozens of updates we've already done to these software programs. So we've already been adding new features and improving them over time. So you can click below to buy that right now. But the software by itself is easily worth more than our limited time private discount. But let's add even more value, right? So bonus one, what good is software if you don't know how to use it? This is a seller's training course. So this is actually 6 video modules that takes you through step by step selling on Amazon, and it's a massive expansion beyond what we've covered here before. Bonus 2 is 4 Q&A recordings. So actually we did customer only Q&A recordings, all about these questions you might have about picking a product, picking a supplier, FBA questions, packaging, shipping products, selling products, anything you can think of, we answered it on these recordings, and we're constantly doing new ones. Over 4 hours of Q&A recordings are covering this entire business model, and they're available as modules 7, 8, 9, and 10 in the seller training course. And now my friend Brian was actually on these calls as well, and he did well over $1 million in sales as well. So bonus 3 is the Amazon affiliate training course. So if you say, hey, Chris, I'm interested in selling on Amazon eventually, but maybe I can start with the affiliate program, you can do that too. That's how I originally left my day job. Back when I mentioned in the introduction, it was all thanks to my Amazon affiliate earnings. So you can check out that course. It's 9 video modules showing how you can use AmaSuite as an Amazon affiliate. Bonus 4 is an Amazon companion study guide. So again, if you wanted to have the best tips for Amazon affiliate earning strategies, you can use that. I actually sold my best earning Amazon affiliate site in a low 6-figure deal. I used an investment banker to sell it several years ago. So I've learned a ton about Amazon affiliate, and you can use those tips as well. And then finally, if you actually find products that you'd like to import into your WordPress site, you can use the top 100 analyzer and the product inspector. You can export those and then use AmaSync to upload these products to your website. And of course, we have a no risk 30-day money back guarantee on this. So you can try it out, no risk at all. And actually, we need a smaller font to cover everything, but we've got the Azon keyword generator helps you get all the keywords to use on your listings. You got the top 100 analyzer for when you don't know what it is you'd like to sell, you start with that. Once you identify what you want to sell, you pull up the product inspector and you can find everything that's selling. And then you've also got the review finder to most importantly get those critically important reviews on your product. And then of course we've got bonuses. So again, seller training course teaching you everything you need to know, 4 Q&A webinar recordings, and we're going to have even more of those coming up. Amazon affiliate training course is available, the companion study guide, and also the AmaSync WordPress plugin. So again, you can click below to buy. It's a one-time price of only $297. And it, of course, includes free updates. And we're constantly improving those programs because, again, I mentioned before, I'm an Amazon seller too. And even though despite my best efforts, I told Dave, my business partner, I said, hey, some of the stuff I like to hold back for myself. He said, no, let's do it. We got an obligation to our customers. Let's make some great stuff for them. And so we've got free updates for those as well. So this private discount will end soon. So if you click the button below to buy, you can do that. And I'd love to take any questions. I know there were a lot that were coming through when I was presenting. If you have any questions about selling on Amazon, AmaSuite, anything else, please do ask away.
Sorry about that. I forgot to unmute myself. I was talking away there. Yeah, thanks for that, Chris. I know I've learned a lot from that, and I'm sure everyone's learned a lot. I've got a ton of questions. My questions are on that monitor. So if you see me turning my head over there and looking, I'm not being rude. I'm looking at the questions. But just before we get into the questions, I just wanted to sort of point something out to everyone. I've been trying to think about how to word this without being rude to Chris, I suppose, because yeah, I think Chris might know where I'm going with this, with the way he's been giggling. I've not known Chris for a long time, and he's very, very good. As an Amazon seller, obviously he's selling $30,000 worth of stuff there, and making a great living. But he's not as experienced as an information marketer or someone that sells information, which is what he's doing. And you know, I'm doing a little bit of consulting with Chris, and that's why I wanted to get him on. And this is the first time that I've seen this webinar, and I look at things like he says, oh, you know, I'm going to give you the how to sell stuff on Amazon course, value $97. Now, most marketers go, you know, value and overinflate the value by a mile. I can honestly tell you, there's another, you may or may not know them, another big brand guys out there that are selling the same, what Chris is saying is a bonus for $97. They're selling basically that is their core product. And they got a couple other core bonuses and things along with it. And they're selling that for $5,000. They are actually selling it. And every time they release it, they only open the doors for enrollment every now and then. And every time they release it, they sell $10 to $15 million worth of their product. So it's really, really common. A lot of people buying it for $5,000 because they know it works. They've got so much proof that this system works. And Chris is standing there saying that has a value of $97. He's underplayed it ridiculously. And I talked about doing some consulting with Chris. I wanted to get this webinar in with you guys before I did that, because the absolute first thing that I'm going to recommend he does is get his price up around at least $1,000, if not $2,000. It's just ridiculous that he's selling it for this price. I know you've been on some webinars with me before, so you know that. Well, if you have been on the webinars with me before, I've done, you know, a number of them. You'll know that this is a ridiculous price for something like this, $297. So again, I'm sorry for being rude, Chris, but this it kind of stems from a limitation in your information marketing. But you should be selling this for a lot more, and it's just an insane price. There is no way that this is still going to be $297 by the time I'm done with Chris. But I wanted to make sure that I didn't tell him that until after the webinar, so I gave you guys the opportunity to get in at this ridiculous price. So click the button below right now before he changes his mind by the end of the webinar. And $297 is insane. Click below, get on. We're about to go through some questions. I've got tons and tons of questions here. You guys have been pouring it in. Just before I get into the questions, the first thing I want to say, I always say this, you know, success is all about making the best use of your time and just not wasting time. I appreciate this is something that's outside of the comfort zone of most people. Most people haven't had experience in going to China and sourcing products and putting those products on Amazon. It's not, and you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, like, oh, I don't know if I can source products from China. I get that. It's outside of your comfort zone. Guess what? Anything that's worthwhile is going to be outside of your comfort zone. If you already knew how to do something to make yourself a 6-figure-a-year business on autopilot, if you already knew it and a way to do it inside your comfort zone, you'd be doing it and you wouldn't be on this call. So if you want to increase your income and build a business like that, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. So now's the time. Let's do it. Click the button down below and step outside of your comfort zone and give it a crack. You've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Watch the whole course. Check out the software. If you don't think it's something that you'd be able to implement, get your money back. No harm, no foul. I'm sure Chris won't mind. That's absolutely fine. And I'm happy to stand by Chris's guarantee. If he doesn't give you your money back, I'll do it, but I know he's going to do it, so that's not an issue whatsoever. But don't go into it with the intention of getting your money back. Go into it with an intention of building a massive business, which you absolutely can do with this. But my point is using the best use of your time. If you know this is something you want to do and you're ready for that change in your life and to step out of your comfort zone and build a big business, click the button below right now. Don't even wait for the questions. Go and get access to the course, get access to the software, and start watching it. Any question that I'm going to ask here is going to be answered on the inside anyway. So don't even watch the rest of this webinar. Click the button right now and go. Get keen, get in there. Okay, so I'm going to start getting into the questions right now, I suppose. So first question is from Corinne, and Corinne's asked, does this package teach me everything I need to know to get started selling on Amazon? Chris?
Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. It does. It's pretty much step-by-step. That's what we do with the course. It greatly expands upon what I covered on this presentation. And actually, as Dan was giving me a hard time about how low we priced this, I almost forgot to mention we recently opened a Facebook group too. So people go in there and ask questions and communicate with other AmaSuite owners. So we have a support system for there too for all our customers. And that's included at no extra cost. So yeah, I mean, even if you had questions there, you post in the Facebook group, and I'm in there from time to time posting questions, and we're even interviewing successful AmaSuite users too about their businesses and posting those in there too. So yeah, it helps you there, and we've also got that resource too.
Oh, I love seeing it when I'm trying to help people. I love seeing the things they're doing wrong because it makes me look like a superstar when I double profit. Okay, so I've got Lance has asked, what about the software? I see that Chris is on a PC. Will it work on a Mac? He wants to know.
Yeah. So we actually built it as a native installed program. So it's something that has been written specifically for PC and also for Mac users. So it will work either one and just fine.
All right, awesome. So guys, just so you know, I've got tons and tons of questions here. We've got loads of people on the webinar. A lot of the questions are repeated. So, when I said, Lance said, I actually had Wim, I think that's how you say it, and Erlene and August, a bunch of people asking the same question. So if I ask your question but don't say your name, please don't be offended. I've seen your question. There's just no point in repeating the questions. Okay, so Young has asked, Young, sorry, I hope I've said that right, has asked, how small of an investment can I use to get started selling on Amazon?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, you can actually start, I use the barbecue grill brush as an example, but I mentioned that barbecue grill mat. That product, you could do that for $50. I actually did an example last night when I was looking into the niche. And so you can really get started for pretty cheap. It's not very much money to invest. And then when you start at those lower price points, that ahead of time, you've got a great future of even more profitability, because as you scale out this business, you spend more money and get more inventory, you can do that and make even more money. So it's very little investment to get up and going.
So guys, let me just ask you a quick question. Hopefully everyone understands the basic concept of this. I want you to put in the box below, just answer the question, yes or no. Do you see that if you can buy something for $1.50 and sell it for $15, where it's selling all the time, every day, thousands and thousands of them are already selling for $1,000, something that you can buy for $1.50. Can you see how easy it would be to profit from that? And then when you've got Amazon doing all the hard work for you, actually selling it, listing it, and shipping it, do you see how easy that would be, to profit from? Just if you get that concept, like, business is all about margins, and the margins here are ridiculous. So if you get that all that's really involved in this is buying stuff for $1.50 and selling it for 15. And yes, there's costs. I mean, there's a lot of costs. Your full cost is like $7 or $8. But do you get that concept? If you understand that to be able to buy for so cheap and sell for so high, that making an ongoing business out of this is just really, really easy. If you understand that, just put down below yes in the box. Awesome. So this is where I get to read all the comments, and we've got Kathleen and Belinda and Maurice and Keith and Roderick, Clarissa, Kelly. Awesome. Great. So it's good. I'm glad that you can just get that core concept. Okay, let's jump on to the next question. How many, so this is Min. Min wants to know, how many computers can I install the software on?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have it set up. Your license key can be used on 3 different computers. So you can use your home personal, you can use your laptop, you can also use your work. And so even if you had a VA, for example, they could use it as well. So you could do that and have access to it. And, obviously some software companies would charge you for each license, but you're able to get access to that on multiple computers.
Awesome. Okay, so I've got Ruben wants to know, how long does it take to get a product up and selling on Amazon? That's a really good question.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, it's going to vary depending on what you're buying, and so some heavier items will take a little bit longer to ship than lighter items. That's something to keep in mind. But I've seen people get up in as few as a few weeks, or even just like a month or so. It doesn't take too long, especially if you're really attacking it. And it really just comes down to how much time you want to invest and how quickly you want to get after it. So when I was actually first starting this, I was starting it as a side business. It took me a little bit longer, but it's because I was just like, I was running other things, and I didn't even think that this would have as much potential as it ultimately did have. And so now I can get new products up and selling much, much faster, because I get on one night, talk to suppliers, get some samples ordered, and bam, samples arrive, and I pick a supplier, place my order, comes over here to the US, and we're done. It's very simple.
So I'd say Ruben, and a bunch of people want to know this as well, I'd say Ruben really wants to know, from someone that's coming from scratch, has no idea about sourcing, no idea about buying products from China, about selling on Amazon, just let's assume it's, your mum's uncle's brother's cousin. And it's going to vary, guys. Like you got to understand that some people are more savvy than others. Some people take action faster than others. But could you walk us through maybe I guess the process? Like step 1, find a product, and that'll take you this long. Let's assume they spend an hour a day on it, right? Step 1, find a product, take this long. Step 2, find a supplier, etc. And just give us an idea of time frame.
Yeah, so step 1 would be, again, finding a product, and you could spend the top 100 analyzer, for example. And that product, or that tool rather, you can pretty much get through hundreds to thousands of products in a single sitting and look through and find them. So you could find that with a few hours or a day or so. And you can also be thinking about it while you're at work, etc. So it's not really like you're actively working on it when you're trying to find your product and you're thinking about what you want to sell. I like to talk about, using your personal experience and what you're interested in as your first basis for picking a product. But once you've done that, you move on to finding a supplier. And that's even easier, because once you've decided, okay, you've narrowed down from every product in the world to this is what I want to sell. And all you need to do is contact the suppliers that sell that. You go into Alibaba, you do some searching, you contact them, you can copy and paste the exact same email. I usually contact every supplier that I'm going to contact to get some pricing from and a sample from in an evening, right? So I do it at night. And so that's just one evening basically. And after that, you hear what people come back to you with, you see what the pricing is, you compare, and then you say, hey, I'd like to order a sample. And
okay, so I'll stop you there. From the time where we've picked our product, that seems very quick. Remind me to come back to that, by the way. I've gone about picking the product stage, and it was not quick for me. I wasn't using your software, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But so you've picked your product. That's been really quick because you've got the software that helps you, which is awesome. We find a bunch of suppliers. I know how easy that is to find them. We email them. We come back, and we've they're not all going to come back to us straight away. We've picked a product. How long are we up to now by the time we said, yes, I think you're the one, I just want to get a sample, I'm ready to get a sample? How long are we at the moment?
I've done that
for an inexperienced person, not for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I've done it in as short as like a week, but but a lot of I was doing it with not knowing as much, and so I'm basically imparting that knowledge in the course. I think you could do it in about that same time frame if you really get after it. And the thing too is that once you picked your first product, it's much easier to go on and do others. But yeah, so that's what I would suggest in that time frame.
So I know this is something that everyone's going to want to know. They're going to want to know how long it all takes. So I'm just going to grill you on it a little bit just to make sure that, I want to make sure everyone knows what, the whole point of this webinar is to learn. So we're learning. Okay, so we're a week in and we've found a supplier. We say send the sample. I assume the sample only takes a couple of days to get there. We've got the sample. Let's assume it's good. What's our next step?
Next step will be to just look at which supplier you want to go with. You place your order. And honestly, the longest wait is just the production time. And so suppliers have to actually create the item, of course. And so that's usually the thing that takes the longest for me, is just waiting for them to make the product. And that can vary depending on certain products. Some are just a week, some maybe a couple weeks. And then once you've done that, your item is ready to be shipped out. And then that's when you can do the shipping process. And so what I like to do is I use a freight forwarding company. So you could Google that, and freight forwarders basically make it so that you just say, hey, my product's ready for pickup. Here it is in China. Here's the address. And then they go pick it up for you and let you know when it's in the US. So it's super simple. And even if you're outside any other country, you can do that.
How long does it take to get from China to US?
So if you do air, you can do it in as few as a couple days. There's the actual flight time. Now there might be some time they're sitting on the tarmac, or it's arrived in the port and they're getting ready to pick it up. But it's actually relatively quick when you do air shipping. So I usually suggest doing lighter weight items initially, so you can do the air shipping. But once you're up and selling and making money, maybe you can reinvest in some heavier stuff that less people are competing with, and then you can do sea shipping if you wanted to.
All right, so we're looking now where by the time it's in the Amazon warehouse, ready to be sold, and Amazon have processed it and all that, we're sort of 4 weeks-ish, if you're a beginner. Yeah. Okay. And then we can start selling, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So there you go, Ruben. That was the answer to your question. About 4 weeks, you can be up and start selling. So it's not going to happen overnight, guys. It's a real business, and you have to treat it like a business and build it. Don't expect to be able to click 3 buttons and make money. That's not how this works. It's going to take a month before you can even start selling. Then you have to start getting your listing up and getting the reviews and stuff like that. So be aware of it. But it is a real and very profitable business. And I personally know, and one of the reasons I have a lot of interest in this business is that I personally know quite a few people that are making a lot of money and successful at it using the same method. So I know that it works. Okay, what do we got here? Jeffrey would like to know, can I sell on Amazon if I'm outside the US?
Yeah, it's a great question, and you can. Pretty much any country. If you're listening to this or watching this rather, you should be able to sell. And Amazon actually has a list of countries that they'll do bank deposits for. And then if you're not on that list, it's very simple. Is you just use a company like Payoneer.com to do it. But UK and Canada and a bunch of other countries are on that list, and it's very simple though to get that done. So we actually, a lot of people that are using AmaSuite and in the Facebook group are outside the US. They just sell in the US because it's the largest market.
Yep, absolutely. So guys, I just wanted to kick back to something that I said, I'll come back to that I forgot about. One of the things I love about all this software is not only it saves you a ton of time, and it does, and not only, well, it saves you a ton of time, and some of the stuff you just couldn't do otherwise. I know Chris even said that, to find these top reviewers, you'd have to go through every, what's the word?
Profile, every reviewer profile. Yeah.
You have to go, but I mean, that's not even realistic. He should have said it's not possible, because how many people do you think there are on Amazon? Well over 1 million. You can't go through 1 million. It's like trying to go through the phone book, trying to find a certain name if it wasn't in alphabetical order. It's impossible. So, I think he was being a bit modest when he said, gee, that would take you a long time to do you just couldn't do it. But anyway, back to my point, there are some tools that you could do, but it saves you so much time. Now, I want to stress that there's two really key things about this. One is it saves you a lot of time. Your time is valuable, and if you're not spending time on that, you can spend it on other things, building your business so you can make more money. But also, it's really, really important for your mental side of things, because I mentioned that I'm building my Amazon business, and I've got other businesses, as you know, and to be honest, I've been building it for longer than it should have taken me. I would have liked to have it up and running a lot sooner, and the reason being that I started to go out to look for a product, and I did it the manual, old-fashioned way, and I just kind of, you'd spend a couple of hours because you've got to find stuff that there's a whole bunch of criteria, and I'm sure that all that's in Chris's course on what makes a good product. You want to make sure it's something that isn't too competitive and that a lot of people are selling and all that sort of stuff. But so you look at a product, you're like, oh, that one's too competitive. You look at another one, and you're like, oh, it's too heavy. And you look at another one, you're like, oh, the seller rating's too low. No one's buying it. And next thing you know, you spent 2 hours and you haven't got a product, and you start to get disheartened. And then for me, I'm like, oh, I'm going to shift my focus on my other businesses. I'm not getting anywhere, is what it felt like when you do it the manual way. Now, you can absolutely do it the manual way. And if I didn't have any other business, I would definitely have just gone, I'm sticking to it until I get there. But this is an issue that I know a lot of people face, is that you start and you're not making quick progress. And so you start to lose focus and look at other things. And this is why I love the software. You use the software and you can find a product like that really, really quickly. And once you've got a product, there's step one done. And as soon as you've got step one, you've got momentum. And I talk about momentum all the time. Once you can get momentum and that feeling of achievement, you just want to get that next step done and do step two. And step two is, researching your keywords and the software for that. And next thing you know, you've got half your business built and you've got that momentum. So this software is really absolutely gold, aside from just being a time saver, just for your mental, just mentally to get you up and running and going. And I can't think of any better way to start this business. So remember, if you've made a decision, there should be 3 groups of people on this call. Well, there should be none really, and I'll say why. If you've made a decision, get off this call. Don't even listen to the rest of the Q&A. Go and start watching the course. You could have a product picked before we've even finished this webinar. So number one, if you know that you want to do it, click below. There's a button down below here. Get started while you still can for $297. Promise that price isn't going to be up for very long at all. So you've made a decision, you shouldn't be here. If you've decided for whatever reason that this isn't for you, I can't think of the reason, but for whatever reason this isn't for you, don't waste your time listening to the rest of this. This is an absolute waste of your time. Go research something else. So the only people that should be left here right now are the people that are on the fence. So I want you to make a commitment to me right now, and that is before the end of this webinar. You're going to get off the fence one side or the other. I'm not saying you're definitely going to buy, but down below in the box below, I want you to say, I'm committed. Just put a little comment, I'm committed. I'm committed, Dan. Yes, let's do it, whatever. Just let me know that you're committed to making a decision before the end of this call. We've still got a few questions to go through. And by the time, you already know most of the things you need to know to make a decision. By the time I get through the rest of these questions, you'll definitely know. If you don't know, then you'll never know. So just commit to me to make a decision. And if you've made the decision, click the button down below right now. So let's get into the next question. What do we got here? Zachary wants to know, what does the free updates include? What does the free updates include?
Yeah, so it includes any new features that we develop. So several of the things actually I showed you in the demo were actually new features that we added after we released version 4. So anytime we add new features, for example, pulling in the weight of the item, that was something people requested. We're basically just looking at customer feedback, and then we add in new features. So anything you can think of that you'd be interested in, we're constantly evaluating that and improving new updates. So those just get delivered automatically. You run up the software, you see, hey, there's a new update. You go in and you be like, oh, look, cool, a new feature. Thank you so much, and you don't have to pay for it.
Cool. Babette would like to know, what type of products would you recommend selling?
Yes, I mentioned this a little bit briefly before, but ultimately lighter weight items is what you should ship initially. So simpler items like a barbecue grill mat. I mean, that's as simple as you can get because it's something they print out, they basically roll it out and cut it up and stuff. And so simpler, lighter weight items is what I would suggest to start with. And then that way you can sell at about $10 to $40 or so.
Awesome. So I've got Santa has asked, apparently. We've got Santa on the call, everybody, a celebrity amongst us. So Santa has asked, gee, I hope that's not their real name now that I've laughed about it. Oh, no. I assume that's a joke. Has asked, what's the best strategy for launching a new product?
Yeah, so I mean, it really comes back to getting those initial reviews. You first finding a good product that you can sell using Top 100 Analyzer, and then really just getting those initial reviews, because when you first get those reviews, they can help you with sales. But what I also like to suggest is to price your product lower to start out, because you're giving up a little bit in the beginning that then you'll get as you start to get more momentum. So as you generate more sales, those sales help generate further sales, help you generate further reviews. And then you basically steamroll your way into making more and more money.
Cool. So you can start lower, get the reviews, get the sales. That pushes you up the listings, and then you can start to push your price up, and the sales will keep coming in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I've done with the first product and worked really well.
Awesome. Okay, so Heidi wants to know, I've got a lot of questions about taxes. All right, taxes, shipping, product packaging, etc. Do you have answers for these? So I don't know exactly what Heidi's question is. I'll let you field that one.
Yeah, so obviously when you're talking about building an e-commerce business, you're picking products that might be completely unfamiliar to you. That's why we did those customer Q&As. It was basically born out of customer necessity, right? Customers were asking questions and they wanted a way to ask those. And so we did live Q&As to do that. And so we have those recorded bonuses, those recorded bonus calls, and we're constantly doing new calls and adding them to the members area. You can listen through those, and we have a wealth of information, resources, everything that you can think of. We've answered. And then if it's not there, we've got the Facebook group.
Okay, cool. I don't know why it kept flashing to me, so I just put myself on mute in between. All right, so Jerry's asked, and actually there's lots of people have asked this question. How long does it take to start making money? I suppose we've kind of answered that. Have you got anything more to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we covered before in terms of how long it takes for you to get up and selling. And then, you can reinvest some of your profits. That's what I ultimately suggest, is you can start taking money off the table pretty quickly, but if you can hold off a little bit and just reinvest into the business more, you'll grow faster and you'll be able to make more money long term. But it all just based on your personal situation. If you want to take cash off faster, you can do that. Otherwise, you can reinvest more and do that.
Awesome. So just so everyone on the call knows, and I know I've told you about this, Chris, I do a bunch of these webinars where we, I like to educate people and let them know about new opportunities and different ways that they can make money. And, everyone on here is interested in ways that they can make money from home, make a bit of either just a bit of extra side income, or, replace their job and hopefully earn more money from home, and the freedom and things that come with that. And every expert that I ever get on, I do my research on them. I either know them personally and, we're just getting to know each other, or I do a lot of research on them and make sure that they know what they're talking about and that they're the real deal. Usually they come from a recommendation from someone else that I do know personally. So pretty much everyone that I get on, I either know personally or they come from a recommendation from someone. And I know that they've got top quality products. Now, the thing about that is that most of the top quality products come with a top price tag. So, if you've been a subscriber of mine for any time, you probably see that I don't sell the $47 ebooks. I don't sell that stuff. And the reason being that it just doesn't work. If someone had, if they have a real business where they're selling something and making a lot of money, why would they want to go and waste their time with a $47 ebook, something so cheap? And that's why everything that I bring to you is usually, you know, $1,000, $2,000, maybe a little less, but I never really bring that low stuff because there's not often value in it. There's exceptions to the rule, of course. There is sometimes, but usually the really top-notch, top-quality stuff comes at a high price ticket. This particular offer kind of breaks the mold. This is a ridiculous price, and it comes down, and I've said it before, and I'm sorry to insult him again, but it comes down to Chris's inexperience with information marketing. He wanted to help some people, and he thought, oh, no, I'll you know, this could supplement my income as well from his core business, which is the Amazon income. And he's selling it too cheap. It's just as simple as that. He's selling it too cheap. It's going to go up because I'm consulting with Chris. But the point is, you need to take advantage of this. You're not going to get such an amazing course, an amazing set of software. You know, you got the support of the Facebook group. You're not going to get all of that stuff for this price anywhere else, and you're not going to get it even here for very much longer. You need to take advantage of it now while you can. I just don't know any more clear way to say that to you. So the button's down below. Don't waste any time. Get on it. I mean, it's $297. I realize it's not chicken feed, but it's not a fortune either. You know, it's $297. Get on it. Go through it. If you go through the course and go, it's not everything that he says it is, and go, oh, I don't know if I can really do this, just get your money back. But I don't want you to go in thinking about that. I just want you to have that safety net and security, right? But I want you to go in thinking, I'm going to build a $100,000 a year business or more, and do it, because you're not going to get the opportunity to get in so low. For $297, just do remember you're going to have to invest in some inventory. But as we've seen, you can do that for as low as a couple of $100 extra. And then you've got the physical inventory. I mean, if you want a clearance sale and just sell it at cost, you'll get rid of it straight away anyway. So just take action. You've got to take action. If you don't take action on this, what are you going to do? Wait for the $2,000 version of the same product? Like, it's crazy. Take action. Click the button below right now. Go in, start watching the course, and pick a product. I want to see you getting a product today. Get that momentum, right? But the first step is clicking the button below and entering your credit card details on the next page. So I'm going to get into a few more questions, but there should be less and less people on this webinar because either it's for you or it's not, and you've committed to making that decision. And you don't need to leave it to the last minute to make the decision. I know a stack of people do. Be different. Step up. Just go, you know what? I'm doing it. This is for me. I'm doing it. Click the button below right now and don't leave it to the last second. Why? Why not? Just do something a bit different. Take the leap. All right, let's get into the next question. Okay, so we've got, hey, I just realized it wasn't even Santa before. It was Santos. Oh, no, different question from Santos, sorry. So Santos has asked, do I have to spend a lot of time managing this business? That's a really good question, Santos. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, I had other businesses when I was first creating this one. And actually, at the time I started this business, my wife and I had our first twin daughters, our first kids, and they were twins. And they were about 5 months old when I thought, you know, I should try and do this. So I'm sure my wife was thrilled, but I said, no, honey, I can do this on the side. I'll do it occasionally in the evenings after the kids go to sleep. And that's ultimately what I did. You know, I just worked on the side after I got home. And I worked on the business slowly but surely. And as I started to make more and more money, I realized, wow, I should actually be spending more time on this business and less time on the other businesses that I have. And so that's what I've been slowly doing as we've gone into this new year. So that's really what I'm stoked about, because you can start it with such little time investment on your own. And as you've got it up and running, Amazon handles so much of the work for you that you can run it with relative ease.
Awesome. And I'm glad you answered it like that, because, you know, you can see that Chris, like I said, when he was talking about his bonus being worth $97, he's not a marketer. He's not a big hypey guy that's like, oh, guys, it's nothing. You click 2 buttons and you're going to be making lots of money. You know, you need to understand, I'm never going to bring you any sort of opportunity that's click 2 buttons and you're going to make money, because they don't exist. It's just not real. If you could click 2 buttons and make money, then whoever was selling it would click the 2 buttons for you and make the money for themselves. So I love that how Chris, it just shows his integrity, how he said, I worked on it after the kids went to sleep. And, you have to put work in. It's a real business that has opportunity to bring you real money, and a lot of it. So you do have to put the work in. But if you put that work in, it's going to free up your time when you get to quit work, and you're going to have a lot more time and a lot more freedom. So how much work would you say you had to do a day or a week, or however you want to answer that, Chris, when you're starting out, if to get some good traction and start building your business?
Yeah, when I first started out, I probably only spent about 5 to maybe 10 hours a week. And then when you're just waiting for your production to be done, you can just be working on your Amazon listing or just kind of hanging out. I didn't spend that much time until the product actually came into the US. So a little bit of extra work during the beginning, picking out the product, and then a little bit of a wait time period, and then the product gets here, and a little bit more. So it's really not that much. And even now I'm not spending that much time on it. I want to spend more time on it though, because I want to sell more and more products, but it's really not too bad time investment wise.
Awesome. And guys, if you can't invest 5 to 10 hours a week in your business, then I'm trying to think of a polite way to say this, but you're not going to be successful in a business at all. You really just need to reevaluate your priorities. And, I understand I've got a young family of my own. I've got 2 young kids and a wife. And, but at the end of the day, that's why I do this. You spend that time, so you might have to do your job and then come home, and after they go to bed, spend an hour on the computer, or at whatever time. You might have to miss a little bit of time with the family or whatever, but you only have to do that for a limited time until the point where you can quit your job, and then you can do it during normal business hours. And then it's a big step backwards, because all of a sudden, you've spent an hour a day and you've built up this income that's enough to replace your job. If you want to, you can still spend an hour a day and keep that level of income. And now all of a sudden you're only spending an hour a day and you've got a great income. Or you can spend more time and go back to 8 hours a day and have this massive income. So it's totally worth it at the end, but you must sacrifice. Okay? Like if you want more out of life than most people are getting, you need to be prepared to do what most people aren't prepared to do. You have to have a level of sacrifice. Again, there's no click 2 buttons. No one's going to do it for you. And if that level of sacrifice is only an hour a day, you just have to get realistic. If you're not prepared to put in an hour a day, you're not going to get results beyond what other people are getting. So if you want to get the results, have to do the things that other people aren't prepared to do. And the first one, just quietly, is make that commitment, make that first step, and get educated. Click the button below. So let's go to the next question. Neil wants to know, how hard is it to ship products from China to the US? That sounds hard. I get that. It does sound hard. Like if that's not part of your comfort level. I know better, but I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I thought as well. And so I thought, I'm not really sure about this because, customs or whatever. And that's when I heard about freight forwarders. And again, you can just Google freight forwarding companies, and there's a lot of them, and you can get quotes from them, and they basically take all the work out of it, right? I started this on the side with newborn twins. Well, I guess, I don't know when they stopped calling them newborns, but they were still new to me. And I basically said, okay, how can I do this with the least amount of effort? And using a freight forwarding company is one of the best ways to do that, because they handle all those questions you don't have to answer. If you want to save money on shipping, then you can also have your supplier help you with that. And usually they're going to give you a better rate because you can use their DHL account versus, starting your own. But I just use a freight forwarder, and it's super simple. Like I literally say, hey, my product is ready to pick up. Here's the address. And that would just be the first time they pick it up, because in the future I just say, hey, pick it up. You know where it is. But they just say, hey, pick it up. Here it is. And then they give me updates along the way with emails like, hey, it's being picked up right now, or we've got it at the airport. Now it's going to be shipping. It's going to be arriving here in Los Angeles in this time frame. And it's really that straightforward, because, the shipping can be as simple as you like it to be. And that's the way I went with it for this business. And it's great because a lot of those things that you think are challenging really aren't that hard once you just decided, okay, I'm going to build this business and I'm not going to let anything stop me. I'm going to use the resources that are provided within this software. I'm going to use the community. I'm going to use the seller's training course that's there. And it's really not that bad. Once you've decided that you're going to build this type of business, that's not going to stop you. So I get the feeling that with that question, you were thinking, you're trying to think of an excuse not to get going. And so I just want to say with shipping, it's really not that bad. It can be very simple.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, guys, stop looking for reasons not to do this and look for reasons to do it. Oh, it's hard to, and I'm sorry if I sound harsh, but it's hard. I've got to ship stuff from China to the US. Everything's hard when you don't know how to do it. Driving a car was hard before you knew how to do it. Now it's probably easy and automatic. Everything is hard when you don't know how to do it. That's why you want to get a course like this one that's going to hold your hand and show you step by step, every little step of the way, what you need to do. Everything's easy when you do know how to do it. So appreciate that right now it sounds hard and you don't know how to do it. Watch the course. You'll know how to do it real quick and it won't be hard, which is why I'm here introducing you to Chris. Okay, so Anthony wants to know, how many products can I sell on Amazon?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, you can start with just one. I mean, that's what I did initially. And you can also then decide, hey, I'm going to do variants of that first product. So different colors or other sizes, et cetera. And so really you just start with one and then you slowly branch out. I gave that example earlier of, you start with a barbecue grill brush and then you move on to a barbecue grill mat and other types of barbecue options. So it's kind of a matter of, you almost plant your flag, right? You're saying, okay, this is the place that I'm going to sell and this is my niche. So let's say it's the barbecue niche. So once you've made that decision, it's like, okay, it's very simple. Your product roadmap and what products you want to sell in the future pretty much are made up for you because you know what's already selling on Amazon and you know what your customers are going to be interested in. And so you just sell the next thing down the line. So really you could start with one and sell as many as you want. I know people that are doing 6 figures a month with literally one product, which sounds crazy when I say that. But when you come back to the idea that Amazon's doing billions upon billions of dollars a year in revenue, and if they're in the top categories, then that's easily doable. But if you want to do like what I'm doing, I go after lower competition products. So I don't have to work as hard. And then I'm just going to launch a lot of them. And so you can really go one to a few, to as many as you want, just kind of depending on how much time you want to put into the business.
Awesome. Guys, we're coming to the end now. I'm sorry if I didn't get to all of the questions, but we've, I'm not even sure how long we've been on for, coming on hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it's been. So we're going to have to round up soon. So you're going to have to start making a decision. You're committed to make a decision. So feel free to make it now. You don't have to wait. I'm just going to take this one last question. And this one's come from Catherine. And Catherine wants to know, how would you start with one product, two or more? So when you're just getting started, would you just start it out with one? Would you hedge your bets? What do you recommend?
Yeah, that's actually a common mistake that people make. They think, okay, cool. If one product is great, then maybe I should stick with two, right? But it's really important to just focus on your first one, get that one successful, get it ranking on Amazon, get your reviews going, because that's the thing is that once you start getting initial sales, the sales breed more reviews and then more reviews breed more sales. And it's a continuous churning cycle. So your first product can get up and then basically help fund the rest of your products. That's exactly how I did it. My first product has funded multiple other products. When I talked about that 6,500 unit order, I did that all off the profits from that first product. So don't distract yourself by doing too many products at once. I really suggest just do one, make it simple, pick your first product and you say, hey, I'm selling this product. And then once you're up and selling and doing well, then you can expand out. So don't do it when you first start, just start with one.
Awesome. All right, guys, that's it. That's all for the questions. We're going to round up pretty soon. So now it's decision time. You made a commitment to me. Most of you did. I hope that you did. I'm sure you're one of the ones that agreed to make a commitment. We've still got over 100 people on the webinar right now. I know some of them have probably just kind of walked away, but not all of them. So I know there's a lot of people still watching now, and it's time. It's time to get off this webinar and make a decision. If you want tomorrow to be, and I know I've said this 100 times and I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. It's really, really important. If you want tomorrow to be different than yesterday, then you need to do something different today, right? I get it. I've been where you are and I know what you want. You want more out of life. You want more income, either a side income, you like your job, keep your job and just have more money, or you want to get rid of your job and just have more freedom, more financial freedom and more time freedom. Work where you want, when you want. I love those 3 criteria that Chris went through earlier. Any business that you start should have time freedom. It should have physical where you work freedom, and it should be scalable. I would never bother starting a business unless I knew it could be a 7-figure business. And this is absolutely scalable. I personally know people that are making 7 figures from this very business. So now's the time for you to make sure that tomorrow is different, for you to achieve that dream. Whatever it is you want, click the button down below. It's $297. I promise you're not going to get as this higher quality of course for this low an investment, right? So there's certainly other high quality courses out there. Like I said, there's another one I know of that teaches the same stuff as this without the software, and it's $5,000. So don't just pay $5,000. Use this one. Pay $297, and you're going to learn the same stuff. It's the same technique and the same strategy. You've got the support of the Facebook group right there, where you've got a bunch of other people that have been successful doing exactly what you want to do. So make a decision. Just take that step, take that leap, and do it now. Click the button down below and go for it. Now, I just want to call out as well. We've had a bunch of people have actually came back. I didn't mention it until now, and said, I'm in and woohoo, and I'm excited. And so I'm just going to call out. Hopefully you're not listening to this. Hopefully you've turned this off and you've gone and you've chosen your product. But I know how it goes. People buy and they come back. They must just love my voice. I don't know. But so big shout out to Holly, Thomas, Angeline, Chrissy, Steve, Lanny, Ronnie, Jared, Joy, Waylon, Aura, Theo. Congratulations, guys, on taking the first step. And there's a bunch more, and I'm sure there's tons more that haven't even come back and said anything. So fantastic. Congratulations, guys, for getting on board. You've taken the first step in what's going to be an amazing, amazing journey for you. You're going to remember this day for the rest of your life. And for those that haven't yet taken the step, now's the time. We're rounding out. Click the button down below. $297. Not going to stay at that price for very long. Now's your last chance. Click it, click it, click it. I'm just about done. Any last words from you? Oh, thank you. I better thank Chris for coming on. That was fantastic. I know I learned a lot from it. I know that everyone on here has learned a lot from it. It just really opened everyone's eyes to a whole other world. So really appreciate you coming on, Chris. Have you got any last words?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate any opportunity to talk about this. I mean, I think you can tell just from the way I presented that it's pretty matter of fact. People are buying on Amazon, obviously, billions upon billions of dollars. And the way I looked at it when I first started was, you know what, there have to be people behind these products that are being sold on Amazon. So why not me? Why can't I be the one that sells those? And that's the attitude I approached it with. And that's why I'm here today and selling. And then that's why I identified that, hey, these are some problems people have with this business. Finding a product can be hard if you're doing it manually. Finding keywords can be hard if you're doing it manually. Finding people to review your product can be hard if you're doing it manually. And so we just fixed all those pain points, put them into software, and that's what we did. And so, I really appreciated you inviting me on here, and hopefully a lot of you have joined up, and I'm really looking forward to helping you out and talking to you in the Facebook group too.
I'm just going to grab something you said there and run with it. I love that. Why not me? So guys, you might have noticed on these webinars, I've talked to a lot of multi-millionaires, like guys with huge businesses, 90 employees, and really, really successful people. Now, you can learn a lot from those people, obviously, and you should learn a lot from those people, and they're really, really valuable. Chris isn't like that. He hasn't got 90 employees. He hasn't got this huge business. He's only doing $30,000 a month, on a 40% profit margin. He's living very, very comfortably. But I want you to look at Chris and go, well, why not, do exactly what he's done. He's an average guy. He's looking, he's going, people are really, really successful online doing this. Why not me? I love that attitude. Why not me? And so he went, I'm doing it. And he did it. And now he's doing really, really well. And he's building it up from there. So that's how I want you to look at this. Why not me? People are doing it. People are being successful. Why not me? You can do it. You have to step out of your comfort zone, learn something new. But fortunately, you've got Chris and the software, the product, the support group in Facebook that's going to hold your hand and show you exactly how you can do that, the exact steps. So why not you? Why not you? There's all these other people doing it. Why not you? So click the button down below. Get started right now. As soon as I get off this call, I'm going to take this consulting call with Chris, and the price is going to go up. So thank you for coming, everybody. Good luck in your Amazon business. Hope you make a fortune. And until next time, bye for now. Bye, Chris.
Bye. Thanks again.